Well, as those of you that have seen some of my other videos, you'll be well aware that I'm quite a fan of the PrimaLuceLabs equipment. I think it's really well made, it's really well designed. I'm really pleased with how all the stuff fits together and just seems to work. The Eagle 2 Pro seems really good. The Sesto Senso is excellent. Really happy. Unfortunately, I think the whole thing's been let down with the general design and application of the guide tube rings. The actual rings themselves are really nice. Again, you know, they seem well made. They seem, you know, really well machined. Nice threads, and you know, just generally quite nice. They come with a little packet of nuts and bolts, which is bolts, no nuts, but the bolts, which is fine. Little 4 M6 bolts. Now, the idea of these guide rings and what PrimaLuceLabs promote as being is that they're plus compatible, which means that they're designed to screw to the top of the Eagle 2. Now, this was a key thing for me because initially I wanted to use a standard guider instead of off-axis guider. I'm actually now using off-axis guider, but I wanted to use a standard guider so that I could swap about with things and so on. But when I took the guide rings out of the packet and then was looking at fitting them to the top of the Eagle 2, it struck me that the quality, or not the quality, the design was just really poor for fixing these to the Eagle 2. And I just couldn't work out at the beginning how have they designed for this to be fixed, because all the holes in the top of the Eagle 2 are all actually tapped holes. You've got M6 here, you've got M5s here, and then M6. So there's a variety of M5 and M6 holes. Now, in the bottom of the guide tube ring, there's 3 M6 holes. So you would think that, well, perhaps the 2 M5s there line up with the M6s, which is fine, but it doesn't come with M5 bolts in the pack. It only comes with 4 M6s. So I got my own M5 bolt because I thought, but that's a circle. So you put a bolt in the hole. So you've got a M5 bolt going through the M6 tapped hole, and you end up with an offset. Now, if you try and straighten that out so that it fixes to the top of the Eagle 2, so we put the bolt straight as it would be when the thing's secured, you're only just fixing it down on a tiny part of the edge of the bolt. And from an engineering perspective, it's just so poor that I couldn't believe that is how that's designed to be. The alternative, of course, is to use one of the M6 bolts and bolt it through the centre hole into an M6 fixing, but then that's a tapped hole into a tapped hole, which just isn't going to work. You're never going to get the thing tightened up. So it just doesn't fit. So I queried this with the supplier and was basically told, well, to machine a flat inside the inside of the tube ring is very difficult. And he uses it himself, and he actually has just put a washer on the edge of the bolt to stop the damage to the tube ring. Well, my view is that's just completely unacceptable. It's just, you know, it's a poor design. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. I have spoken to somebody who's had one of the Eagle 2s and used the guide rings, and they were suffering with guiding flexure. Now, I suspect that that's why, because if you've got a guide scope sat in between these rings and you're literally only bolting them down with the very edges of the bolt, because it's only just catching on the edge, then it's going to be subject to flexure, because it's literally not stopping the guide ring from moving back and forth this way. Really poor design, not happy at all with it. I'm going to send them back because, you know, it's just, in my view, it's unacceptable. They're great products. What they're marketing as the solution for guiding and this plus system, as they call it, in this instance, is a non-plus. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. They need to revisit this, I'm afraid, and perhaps machine some flats, you know, so that when the bolt goes in, it actually sits into a rebaited flat, so that at least it tightens up on the whole head of the bolt. Poor job, but you know, I'm fed it back to them, so let's hope that they can come up with a solution. But if you're looking to purchase an Eagle 2 and you are looking to use the guide rings on the top, they don't work. You would need to put a dovetail on the top of the Eagle 2 and then fix the guide rings to the dovetail and the dovetail to the Eagle 2, which isn't in line with how they're advertising it on their own website. So hopefully this has helped and it stops you getting in the same position as me, which is expecting something to work and it doesn't. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.